Welcome to our new series, the 200 Movie Challenge. Our goal this year is to watch 200 movies that we haven't seen yet. If you want to listen to the full podcast where this clip is from, the link will be in the description. Now enjoy today's movie. So, let's just get right into it. Soto, the first movie I saw actually came out in 2006. It was a TNT TV movie. So it still counts.
Okay.
I'm counting this. It's a made for TV movie, but I'm like, it's still a movie. We haven't seen it.
It's a movie.
It is.
It's a movie.
It's funny because at first I thought I actually saw this movie. And I'm like, no, I didn't. And I've also seen a lot of clips from TikTok recently. And the movie I saw, it's called the Ron Clark Story. It stars Matthew Perry.
Mhm.
And this is a couple of years after, obviously, Friends ended. I've seen scenes. I'm like, and once I'm like, wait, maybe I didn't see it, but I know. Obviously, Jill working at a high school as a paraprofessional, she wanted to see this, especially because of the subject matter. Because what this movie's about, this movie is actually based on a real person, a man who was doing wonders as a teacher, but he just felt like his style could help more kids in need, kids who actually need it. Like he had like a cushy job, I think in maybe I forget where, Tennessee, North Carolina, I believe. Everything was great, but he just kind of wanted more. He wanted to help more kids, and he moves to Harlem. And he tries to become a teacher there, and he finds a school. And this part's actually true. There is some fictionalized shit in this, but this is true. But like in middle school, where he wants to take on the class that the principal and other teachers believe are failing, like they can't be helped. And I think that kind of speaks to Jill because she's part of a program where she helps kids who feel like they're not going to graduate. They need help. We watched this earlier this week. And we've seen this kind of movie before, Soto. I'm not going to lie. If you remember, like Dangerous Minds with Michelle Pfeiffer, Freedom Writers comes to mind with Hilary Swank. This movie deals with more of the middle class students, not the high school students. So it is a younger, but we've seen this kind of film before, and of course it's made for TV, so the language is definitely way down than what those movies, and violence is way down was. But it's very interesting because again, just seeing how he's trying to reach these kids, make them be not just give them a structured environment, but just get them to believe in themselves. Like, listen, just because society has turned their back on you, just because your parents may not be around, whatever, everyone's obviously got a different story. He's like, you can make your life whatever you want to be. I believe in you. You just need to believe in yourselves. And Ernie Hudson's in this too as like the principal. He's like, listen, I don't care what happens. As long as the scores go up, I'm happy. Because he didn't want to put him in that classroom. He's like, there's no way. Because I guess they've gone through like 6 teachers, and he's like, I want that classroom. I want it. So he's just like, just get their scores up. That's how I get judged. That's how the schooling gets judged. So you do that, we're fine. Otherwise, we'll talk at the end of the year. Excuse me. But obviously, it's just like any teacher. He goes through troubles. The kids don't want to listen. They're ignoring him, trashing the room, etc., etc. And he comes up with a plan, and it's pretty hilarious. Now, I don't know if this part's real, but it's still funny for the movie. He has like a table full of those little chocolate milks, the school chocolate milks that we used to drink, way back in the day.
Yeah.
And he challenges them. He's like, listen, I know you guys can do this. If you guys can shut up and listen for 30 seconds, do not talk and listen to me. Every 30 seconds, I will drink a carton of milk. And he has someone time it. So he's actually teaching a lesson as this is happening. So it's like, that first funny step. And he drinks God knows how many. He doesn't puke. But so again, it's how he goes above and beyond. And I kind of looked up what has happened to this teacher afterwards. And yeah, he has his own academy. He's actually working out of Atlanta now. A lot of his students still keep in contact with him. I actually saw a video where one student was valedictorian. She's up there dancing and he's dancing with her. So you can definitely see that, like he's not a typical teacher, but he's a teacher who reaches kids. But I can't obviously rate it on the guy. I got to rate what I see as a movie. And yes, we've kind of seen this movie before. Everything we've seen, like I said, Dangerous Mind, Freedom. I'm probably missing a couple school movies that you can just belt out right now, which have similar, probably Lean on Me now that I think about it. That's the one with Morgan Freeman.
So many movies. It's a genre on itself.
So, and I think that one of the reasons I liked it, it was the younger cast. And I like the fact that Matthew Perry did not. I was a little worried. I'm like, God, is he going to seem like Chandler? Because I for those who watch Friends, I love the Chandler character, sarcastic. But no, he was actually he took the role seriously. You felt like you weren't watching Chandler from Friends. You were watching it in the real teacher, which was a plus. But yeah, no, overall, yeah. I mean, he got, through the kids. Obviously, you've seen Summer School is another one that reminds me of it a little bit. Just a little different. That was more of a. I don't know why that popped in mind, but I did like this movie. Anyone that kind of wants to just see how the educational system can be in some schools, because unfortunately, as sad as it is, this is real. I know a lot of people, just think everything's hunky dory, but there is definitely some schools who need help. Um, but yeah, no, I mean, it was just a great little film, and there's really not much to say. We like you just said, it's a subgenre in itself. We've seen many films like this. This does not rewrite the wheel, but it is based on a true story, and that kind of added a little bit more enjoyment, knowing that this guy did all these things. So, but where do I rank this, Soto? Again,
The ultimate question.
well, here's the thing. Like I said, the sentiment was there, the story was there. It's an easy watch. Like I said, this is definitely not one of the worst. I'm not going to say it's one of the best, but as just said, we've seen this. There was some original parts to it. Like I said, the drinking the milk I found hilarious. Maybe that's been done a different way, but the way he just reaches through the kids. You know, to me, this is just a middle of the road movie. Um, which is why, as I'm now scrolling through this list, I think at this moment I'm putting this at number 25, right above Scream
Wow.
6. No, because again, it's a decent movie. You're not gonna remember it, and like I said, I'm just surprised the fact that this came out in 2006, and I've seen this cover. Soda, we joked about this when I told you this movie. I saw like this blockbuster. I'm like that. We had that shit on DVD, and I'm like, why did I never see it? And I'm wondering, like, maybe I saw it and just forgot it. But I don't remember. Like I said, I do not remember it, but maybe I did. But either way, we've seen plenty of it before. But yeah, so I think I'm gonna put it at number 25 at the moment, right under Les Mis, above Scream 6, and just feels like a good spot. Now, could that change? Of course, as we every like 15, 20 that we do, we kind of relook at our list and like, oh, let's just move it. But I definitely have seen a lot worse. But this, like I said, this was just it was fine. It's fine. It's on
Would
Tubi.
you
It's
watch it
free.
again? Would
If it
you
was
watch it
on,
again?
like if it was on, like if I came in the room, Jill just wanted to was watching again, I would sit down and watch it again. Would I go out of my way and watch it again? That's a different story. It's not like I would go out and buy this DVD like you mentioned on some of your movies. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not buying any physical copies of anything on my list. I'm just done with physical copies. But that's a story for a different day. But no, if it was on,
Mm-hmm.
I would watch it because again, the scenes he has with the kids were great. I laughed at some parts. Him doing double dutch or learning how to do double dutch was hilarious because again, I just think about old white men like me doing double dutch. It ain't happening. But
Mm-hmm.
he just every kid he tried to find a way to reach who they were. What made them. Who like one wants to be
How
an
can I
artist.
reach these kids?
Well,
How can I reach these kids? I
okay,
need to
Carmen.
reach these kids. But that's like, but
It is.
I'm
It is.
joking. But
No, but it
that's
is
such a
true. It is
cliche.
true. It's because I hear Cartman when you do that, so I'm like, oh shit, these
But
kids.
that's
It
it's
is
like
true.
I gotta reach these kids. It's like, oh, teachers don't look. I'm not saying it's that's a bad like kind of a movie, but it is its own genre. It is what it is. It's
Yeah.
all good. Doesn't mean it's a bad movie. I'm sure it had a 3 act structure, and when it ended, you were like, that was a movie.
Yeah, and they gave us a little, subtitles of what he's done since that movie. Obviously, this is 2006. We're almost 20 years later. So yeah, obviously, did they fictionalize some stuff? Of course they did. Like his love interest and stuff, but they just had to make it somewhat interesting. But like I said, overall, it's not a bad movie. We've seen this before. It's not a
Mhm.
great movie, but yeah, I mean, again, if it's on TV, I can sit down, play on my phone, watch it, laugh at some parts, and yeah, it's not like some of the other ones, which you came to as we joke, like if you came with this rental, I said, you know what, you might enjoy it. A little bit different of a popcorn flick than the all-out action, fun action movies that we've seen, but
Mhm.
yeah, looking at it right now, I feel, and it could change, but I just feel it deserves to be in the middle. I do like Matthew Perry a lot. And yeah, like I said, it was a good story, but it's just I think it's the fact that it's based on a real guy that might have helped it a little bit, just knowing that what he did and